This is a guide to healing for survivors of sexual assault and their loved ones. Healing comes in stages, and each step of the way requires its specific considerations to meet the needs of the survivor. Sharing, responding, and processing are natural steps that can lead to healing, and to be clear, the order can always vary. Sharing. Sharing your story can be a huge breakthrough in your healing journey. However, we are all aware of the stigma surrounding the topic of sexual assault. The biases and misinformation of our society cause barriers when sharing, but there are professionals who can listen properly if you choose to speak to them. As a community, it is our job to support survivors and help raise their voices. And if they choose to report the assault, they shouldn't have to do it alone. Responding. How you respond to a story can impact the way a survivor moves forward. There's a lot you can say. For example, "It's not your fault. You shouldn't have had to go through that. I hear you. I'm here to help." Also, consider switching up your language. Calling a person a survivor rather than a victim highlights their resilience. Listening is key. Even if you have no other method of supporting someone, listening will always help. Take that time to be sensitive and empathetic towards them. Be open to their vulnerability. Respond to it with gratitude. It's so special that a person chose to trust in your ears. Recognize that. Processing. Processing is a complex subject. Keep in mind that a person's process can be expressed in many ways, and the best thing to do is be aware and informed. To begin, what is a trauma response? A trauma response is a reflexive reaction to a perceived threat, triggering your fight, flight, freeze, and fawn instincts. As a survivor or a supporter, it's nice to know how to handle possible triggers. If a person is experiencing a trauma response, the general way to go is to help them engage in their senses, also called the somatic method. Luckily, you've got many resources. Try looking up the 5-4-3-2-1 method, as well as calling help or info phones and talking to professionals. Healing. Healing can look different for everyone. It definitely isn't linear, and everyone has their way of coping. Try art, therapy, activism, exercise, journaling, etc. You'd be surprised at how good it feels to give yourself an outlet. Remember that healing has its good days and difficult days, but that's why having people willing to support you takes you a long way. So be there for the people who need you, and to the survivors. Please don't blame or be too hard on yourself, and remember that we care. For more information on how to connect with in-person supports, or to find a guidebook for survivors of sexual assault and a toolkit for parents and caregivers, check out the IWAV website at iwave.org.